Welcome everyone. We're gonna dive deeper into closing karmic loops and rewiring old patterns. This is what we're gonna dive deeper today, and I'm gonna share with you insights on what these things are from my own journey and how practically close them, how to practically take action so that we can free ourselves from these loops and patterns that can be generational, that can be habitual, addictive patterns that we find ourselves in. There can be many things, and ultimately what they do is that they disconnect us from ourselves. They disconnect us from who we are supposed to be in the moment, because we are going on a cycle of repeating something that takes us from the present moment, basically, right? Takes us in the past or takes us into the future, into anxiety or into other stories, narratives, and addictions. And there can be so many reasons, right, why these patterns exist inside of us and how these loops keep repeating. And if we don't address them, if we don't see them, if you have something in your life that constantly repeats, whether that is in your finances, whether that is in your love life, whether that is in your health, whether that is in connection with other people, in your work, in any area, in your purpose, in your creations, we are here to have the most awareness possible on this, and to learn how to break these things so that we can actually channel our creative power through our bodies and direct it towards what God wants us to become, what the Creator, the universe, source, however your God is, wants you to be. Like, what is your soul here for? That is between you and the Creator. And so when you have this deeper connection with the Creator, and when you receive this creative power to direct it in areas of life where it feels that you need to show up, or you need to create things, or you need to operate in certain ways, that's when we live basically our greatest destiny. That's when miracles happen. That's when we are the most effective with our energy, right? And my journey with this was also deep, because first of all, we all have these loops, we all have these patterns, we all have these things. It is not that someone is not having this, right? We all have them. I think now on planet Earth, over the last 5 years maybe, or 10 years, there are newborns, right, like babies, new human beings that come with less and less and less of these generational things and habitual things and addictions and all of these things that come from disconnect, lack, trauma, and so many reasons, believing we are unworthy. And nowadays there are kids that actually come in way more purified, way more liberated. So those are the ones that experience less of this, and that is because we have been doing the work. We have been doing the work, and I'm sure there's many of you here that have been doing the work for years. Yet that can still be a pattern, a loop that you keep repeating, that you keep going back to. Okay, so let's find out what that is, and how, most importantly, how to close it. You have to find out what that is, because we don't have time here to find out individually what that is. But I'm going to share with you what helped me on my journey to understand these things and how to tackle these situations, these loops and old patterns. Okay, so let's begin from this. How to identify loops and patterns. How to realize, okay, I'm in a loop or a pattern, and this is how you do it. Okay, Because some people don't even know. Some people be like, well, I don't know if this is a loop or this is a pattern or this is how it's supposed to be, you know. So in order for you to realize if you are in a loop or a pattern, is simply to look at your history and see if an experience repeats over and over again and leads to the same outcome. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are in a relationship with someone, with your soulmate, with your partner, with whoever, and you see that the same trauma loop, the same discussions, the same fight, the same friction happen between you and this person. It's almost like it's annoying, because you're like, I thought, sometimes you'll be like, oh, I was aware of this, yet it still happens, right? So this is a sign that the loop or the pattern repeats itself, tries to repeat itself at least, right? The same goes with finances, for example, or with your business. Let's say that you have grown your business to a degree and you manifest clients, you have a certain amount of income that makes you feel stable, and all of a sudden you lose, the next month you lose everything, or you go on a down spiral, and you ask yourself, why is this keep happening? Why is every year the same cycle happening? I'm tired of this. I want to create more stability. I want to know that I can have another experience, right? And so those are the patterns and the loops. When an experience keep repeating itself 2, 3 times, 3, 4 times, even 5, 6, 10 for some, 20 times, doesn't matter. What is important is for you to really, really look at your life, look at the things that you feel that you're tired of, basically, or that you do not want to experience, and see how those things have re-looped into your life. Check if any of those things are appearing in your life through history, through time. Okay? And that's when you realize this is a loop, this is a pattern, and you are supposed to break that if you want another outcome. You're not supposed to leave that loop and pattern. Because some people say, well, maybe this is my destiny to constantly repeat this chaos in my life. Maybe I'm destined to not have a partner because we always end up breaking up. Maybe it's destined for me to not have money, all of these stories. If you believe that, that is the truth. But if you want a certain outcome that doesn't involve that, then that is the truth as well. And because you have the creative power flowing through you, you can decide what is your truth. No one can decide for you. There is no karma that is so heavy that you cannot change if this is your choice. You know, if this is literally your deliberate choice and your intention to transmute that, to transform that, and to step into a new version of yourself, right? How do we do that, right? First we learn how to identify it, but then how do we close this pattern? How do we close this loop that constantly repeats? How, right? Because sometimes it feels like we don't have power over it. It keeps repeating. Well, the answer is so simple. It is so simple that it bothers people how simple it is. The way to close that, the way to break that pattern, the way to interrupt the pattern, to close the loop, is by responding differently. That is it. You're watching it, you're observing it as the creator that you are, right? You're seeing, holy moly, this thing is again into my life. I'm experiencing the same experience. Do I want to have this? And if you say, yes, I'm going to go with it, there is no wrong or right. You can go with it. But if you realize, oh, now, if I choose differently, if I choose to respond in a different way, something is going to happen that is going to break that. It's going to interrupt the loop. And that's your power. And that's what you need to do. You need to choose a different story and stick with that story, even when you're confused, you don't know what happens next, because that's what usually happens. You go into the unknown. You're stepping outside of your own loop, outside of your own repetitive matrix and story and narrative. You go outside of that, therefore you're creating a new reality. And then people be like, oh, well, how do I show up in this? In that moment, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know how you show up, because you will see how you show up. You will see, for example, let's give a proper example on this. Let's say that you are in a relationship and you experience the same fights over and over again over the same subject. Now, you can feed that and you end up in the same situation and same discussion, same pain and all of that. Or you can choose differently. You can choose to show up in a different way, respond to it in a different way that you have never responded before. And from there, you see what happens next. You see how actually your partner, the person that you have the conflict with, can actually shift their perspective too, because when you interrupt that pattern, you interrupt their pattern too. And they have the choice to join you into the new loop, into the new segment of reality, or to stay in the old pattern. And this is why it's hard, because some people give up here. Some people say, well, I'd rather stay in the comfort zone, and they go back to it. Because I don't want to lose my person, I don't want to lose my job, I don't want to lose my whatever it is. Well, yes, okay, if you want to stay in the comfort zone, then you're going to repeat it. If you want to move on, doesn't matter if you know how, then you can move on. And then you can trust the creator, trust your design, trust your destiny that is going to show you what is the next step. And it will. And guys, I've been through this over and over again. I started my life from scratch quite a few times. I closed patterns that I thought that I'm destined to leave a certain karma, I'm destined to leave a certain scenario. So and there's big stuff. There's really like some things involved, even like loss and death and stuff that are major. And you know, when I'm saying death, I'm not saying obviously inflicted death. I'm saying that, you know, it can be death of identity. It actually can be that someone gets like sick in a process, right? And also go towards a path of destruction. This is how powerful these things are. Sometimes people are fed by their own loops, by their own creation and reality in their own minds. And if that reality pops, if that reality is broken, then they don't know how to relate with life anymore. So these are serious stuff, okay? So you have to really tune in and look into your life and know, I am ready to do this. I'm ready to break through. I'm ready to choose another reality. This is not for the faint of heart, right? Some people like to be in comfort zone. There is absolutely no problem if that's you. Maybe you shouldn't be here, because this shows you how to close them. And maybe you should, and then you can take action whenever it feels safe for you. I'm just saying, like, these things are powerful. These things create ripple effects through generations, right? Especially if it's, as Carl was saying, especially if it is a generational pattern, generational loop involved, right? So yeah, be mindful of that. By the way, I want to finish my ideas, and then I go back to questions and see what you guys ask and you know, interact a little bit. But I want to finish I have a few things that I want to touch upon, and then we dive into that. Okay, the second thing I want to speak with you about on this topic is, you need to know that your creativity gets recycled to reloop rather than create. So What does that mean? It means that when you choose the same loop, and when you choose a pattern that is supposed to be closed, that you overcame, that you feel that you already consumed that lessons, you experienced that to a degree, that nothing, it doesn't bring anything. Now, when you don't close that, your creative power gets siphoned into that loop. So you actually have to either close it to step into your power, to receive creativity and creation, so that you can invest it into the new energy, into the new pattern, into the new timeline and reality that you're creating. If you don't, then you're literally sabotaging your own creativity. And this is why many people don't feel creative, don't feel like they have an artistic expression, don't feel that they don't feel that they are creators, they don't feel that they have the power to create things into their lives, into the world. It's up to the government, it's up to the seasons and cycles, it's up to someone else, religion, concepts, their family, whatever, right? We give the power away. Why? Because we literally feel drained from creativity. The creator doesn't give you your power unless you want it. And if you say no to your power and say yes to a narrative or a loop that you're supposed to break, then you are deprived of your own creative power. Because what can you create in that loop? What can you create in an old reality? Nothing. You can just look at it, review it, have awareness of it, and choose what you feel excited about, what you feel alive for. You know, that's how these things work. And so these loops are actually creativity suckers. These patterns are creativity suckers. Addictions in general and bad habits that destroy your well-being, are sucking your life force, are sucking your energy. It's almost like you have holes in your vessel, energetic vessel. It's like energetic parasites. And so you deprive yourself of your creative power. You deprive yourself of the energy that the creator wants to give you, so that you can live your best life and your greatest destiny. So we need to really be discerning, because we think, okay, I'm going to choose comfort because the pressure of showing up is too strong, is too big, and maybe I'm too tired to do that, and I don't want to, or whatever. I'm not ready, whatever story we believe, I'm not worthy. If that's your narrative, then know that this is why you don't have creative power. It's not like something bad happens to you or the universe wants to punish you or whatever. It's not about that. No one wants to punish you. You punish yourself, in which you don't say yes to what life called you to be here and to do here on earth. And this is why we come back in another life. We reincarnate in another life with the same lessons. So ultimately, it's not wrong or right. It's not wrong or right. It's not about that. It's about what is good for your well-being, what excites you, how ready you are to live a life, and how deserving you feel to live a life that feels good. It's that simple. That feels purposeful, nourishing to you and your family and your community and the people you serve and your work, in every aspect of life, really. So how do you recognize, a practical tip to recognize when your energy is drained, right? When you realize that you chose a loop although you didn't want to. Maybe you were not conscious enough, and so you just chose that loop without even realizing that you do. Maybe you were not aware of it. What happens? What happens when you find yourself maybe right now realizing, okay, my creativity is drained because I'm living basically a story that constantly repeats, or I'm in an unhealthy pattern that I keep feeding? What you do is you recognize it, you really sit with it with compassion, not with resentment. And if you feel resentful towards the things that you basically choose, you're not ready. You can't feel resentful. You can experience rage, you can experience anger, you can experience, oh my god, I've been repeating this thing my entire life, I'm done with this. Like, yes, express that, but stop there and transform into compassion. Transform it into love and show up for it lovingly. Show up for yourself lovingly in the process. And stop feeding that loop. So that's the first thing you do. You stop feeding the old loop. You disengage from it. You know, you don't engage with it. You don't just because you chose it doesn't mean you need to play out in it. You chose it, okay, then you need to have another reflection, another perspective within that loop that actually will help you next time to close it properly. Right? So it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's just you discerning it and saying, okay, I see it, I stop engaging with this, I'm cutting all the outside sources, all the mental created sources and the stories and the narratives that feed upon my creative energy. In this moment, you stop all of that, you take a break after that, and know, slowly come back and know that you are the creator. And it's okay for you to decide that, because some people feel insecure about their decision, about their choices in their lives. Some people want to give that outside, like externally, and say, well, God is going to take care of this, my family is going to take care of this, my partner has to take care of this. We give responsibility away because we are sometimes afraid of our own power. But the truth is that God that we believe in, even if it's external, that God, that spark of God, that spark of the Creator lives inside of us. And if you don't show up for the things that are your responsibility, you're not going to experience the Creator's gift to you. Right? Because the Creator wants to show that you are determined and you are committed to the things that are valuable to you. This is your piece as the Creator. You just need to show up to the best you can. There's not even an expectation of how that should look like sometimes. To the best of your ability, and then the Creator will give you the hints, the synchronicities, the messengers, the opportunities, the rendezvous, the people, the mentors, the support system, the clues, all of this into your life. We call that magic. We call that miracles, but this is how it works. This is normality. We just trust. We have faith in life that life is good. We have faith that the creation in general is for our benefit, not against us, which is what our society trained us. Our religions, institutions, and our masters, government leaders, all of these people that were in position of power made us feel that we don't have that power. There was a battle of control and resources and ideologies and concepts on this planet for thousands of years, and we have been born into that society. So no wonder that we don't know what action to take at times. No wonder that we have been desensitized from our own creativity, from our own power inside of ourselves. It's pretty wild. But now we're remembering, and this is what our focus should go towards. Not to blame, not to hold grudges, not to be resentful, not to hate the government, not to hate an external source, because when we do that, we're giving our power away. You know, taking full responsibility for it. That's how we shift. Collapsing your internal cycles and patterns and loops that don't support you. That's how we show up. That's how we shift. And teaching people to do the same. Because by default, we are powerful. By default, we are creators. By default, we are provided with the power of the Creator and the power of creation. We just have to make sure we are ready to receive it. We just have to make sure we deserve it and do what needs to be done to experience that, to feel that inside of ourselves. Okay, another thing that I want to share about this, which is really powerful, is in the place where there was a loop, where there was a loop that was closed, right? Let's say you close the loop, you close the pattern, you close the habit that was destructive to you. In this moment, there is a void there. There's an emptiness, right? Now, what do we do with that? What do we do with that void? Often, if we don't do anything, if we leave it like that, that loop and pattern, because it's such a habitual thing that we experience for years, can reconnect back to our system. Even if we eliminated it, even if we released it completely from our experience. But this is like, pay attention, because it's really, really important. So in that moment, there's a void, there's space, and people say, now I'm free of this. I'm liberated of this. Wow, what a relief. Thank God I'm not going to experience these destructive relationships. Now, in that void and in that space, we need to fill that up with what we want. We need to fill that up with what we believe in, with what we want to create now in our lives. What is the next reality that we want to bring? What is the next chapter that our soul is calling us into? What is the next creation? What is the next mission that we came here to fulfill? That we came here to experience, enjoy? What is that? What is that? So you have to figure out and bring that into that empty space, into that void. And fill your cup with it. Fill your life with it. Commit to it. This is the place. I'm going to give a proper example. Every one of us here probably have been to some form of loss, or let's say a breakup, right? Now, when you break up with your partner, have you noticed that automatically when you process that, when you learn the lessons, when you close the bad patterns, have you noticed how you all of a sudden you feel energized, you feel like you have space, you feel relieved, you feel liberated, you feel maybe excited for a new relationship, you feel excited for something new, right? So that is it. That new thing has to be your intention, has to be intentionally put into place. And you have to choose based on your feeling, based on your soul, what your soul is guiding you towards. You need to listen and see, what is my highest excitement right now. Maybe I want to start my soul business. Maybe I have this mission. Maybe I have this book I want to write. Maybe I have an album I want to record. I want to be a singer. Maybe I want to go in and do painting or yoga or whatever you want to do. A creative expression. You know, fill that up with that desire. Fill that up with that energy. Don't let it just be empty. Because if you let it be empty, if you don't take any action, your old pattern might come, or a pattern that is similar might come and fill you up again. So that you process the same old, maybe in a different clothes, but it's the same thing. So this is the thing that we need to realize, because we have the power to interrupt these things, to close these things, and step into a whole new version of ourselves that we have never experienced. This is how powerful we are. This is why we are creators. And we have to utilize this energy and this power towards our greatest destiny, towards what calls us the most. It's not even about what we want. It's about what is the soul inside of us, the God, the creator inside of us, what wants to be created. We can even surrender to God if that is a practice, like surrender to the creator and say, show me what I should do now. Show me how can I serve my life and this world in the best way possible. Show me what I'm supposed to create and give me the strength to do it. Right? We can pray in those moments as well. Whatever we do, don't let that space empty for long and fill it up with another addiction or another distraction or another dopamine boost, because it's not going to go anywhere. You're just going to have another loop and pattern to collapse. All right. How do we do this? Practically, in practical terms, you have to visualize, desire, and deserve that new reality, that new experience, that new version of you, that new creation, that new relationship, that new income, that new whatever it is. You have to desire, visualize it, desire, and know that you deserve it. You fully deserve that. Because chances are that you might not feel that you deserve it. This is the biggest thing. People don't think they deserve a good life. People don't think they deserve abundance. Don't think they deserve love because of what they have been told when they were kids, because of what society tells them, because they walk every day on the street in whatever city and see sad people and people who feel that they are in lack and they don't deserve themselves, and that makes you sad inside of you. There's so many reasons to believe that we don't deserve a good life and good things, and all of them is nonsense, because the Creator wants for you to deserve everything. He wants to give you everything. You came equipped with the ability to receive everything that really fulfills you. And ultimately, what fulfills you the most is just you being connected with the Creator, with this energy of the universe, God, life force, source, however we want to call it. I call it the Creator because I like to give it a little bit of more of an action, because it's a powerful energy. It's not just an energy of doing nothing. It's a powerful energy that we as human beings have inside of us, that when we take action with it, when we take action with the energy of the Creator or source, then we can really bring a lot of light, a lot of goodness into this world. And I believe this world is about time to experience that, about time to experience more love, more goodness, more purposeful and meaningful things that actually matter, things that are made with integrity, with love, things that really excites us to experience, rather than chaos stories, news of war and weird stuff that happens right now in you know, on the television and in general in society. It's wild. If you open the news channel, it's insane what happens there. And that is not even the reality. That is a reality that wants to be inflicted so that we believe that. But you just go take a road trip to whatever country you're in and see if that is the reality. See if this is really what happens. You know, 90% is an illusion, what is fed to us. 90% is just mental noise to control, to have, you know, to create separation, opinions. It's just a theater, it's a stage, it's a circus. And in the circus, you have the chance, you have the choice to go to it or to create your own event, create your own thing that matters to you. Like, don't play out someone's reality. you know. And again, the way to do that, the way to feel that void, that empty space inside that was now rewired, is by feeling first that, like visualizing your new reality, desire it deeply, deserve it deeply, and then also let it go and wait for the action, wait for the right action to happen. Take the action when it shows up. Take that instinct. When an instinct comes up, show up for it. Because that's you creating, in practical terms, a new reality. It's not just about meditating and visualizing and it's going to fall into your lap, right? There has to be an action. When we read these books and these spiritual teachings about meditation, sometimes it seems that we don't have to do any action at all, but we do need to show up, we do need to express, we do need to take that action when we feel inspired. Not forceful, not controlling action. Aligned, inspired action. That's how we show up. We need to make sure we do our best with our time to create the new reality we want. And that involves action as well. And a lot of practice. It's practice. Don't be hard on yourself, just practice. Keep showing up. Okay, one more thing I want to share, and that's it, and we can dive a little bit into, I'm going to check the comments and everything. So, when the old pattern tends to repeat, because sometimes even if we choose a new reality, even if we choose a new way of being, because of depending how long that loop and that pattern was in our narrative, in our story, in our minds, it could be 20 years, 25, 30 lifetimes, right? What is very important is to realize that we need to understand that that's the case, first of all. So that pattern might still pop up into your experience. You might see it, you might experience it, and you'll be like, oh my god, I thought I worked on this, why is this still coming to me? No problem, don't freak out. It's coming because that is the movie you've been playing out for a lot of the time. And you can change that movie each time by showing up to what you're devoted to what you're committed to. Again and again and again and again, again and again, until you will see less and less and less and less of that old pattern trying to show up in your life, trying to control you, trying to prove its validity to you. And if you see it, don't be like anxious. Just treat it with respect, even, because chances are that those loops, those patterns also taught you many things. They taught you something. There's a gift in that as well. They taught you how to, first of all, it teaches us all how to be creators, how to step out from being a victim, from repeating the narrative we have been either fed or we fed ourselves with, and showing up in a different way. That is the first gift. Like that alone creates, that shifts you from being a creator on autopilot by default, by programming, by whatever rules our minds, into intentional, deliberate creation. Right? And in practical terms, I'm going to share with you, this journey is not easy. It is not easy to walk a path that has never been walked before, because chances are that your path is very unique, because you are, and me and everyone is completely unique. We all have a signature that is so unique, that is just one in the entire creation, like that. Chances are there's similar people with similar views, with similar elements, similar vibration and frequencies, yes. Similar patterns, upbringings, cultures, desires, yes. But we all are unique in the eyes of the Creator. We all have this element of uniqueness. And so that is your power. So in practical terms, to embrace that power, that really is the gift here. Knowing that you have a path to follow that you have never been walked before, that is already a gift, because it means that you have some control over your destiny, over where your path leads, and that depends on how you show up for it, because we have many destinies, not just one. There's many versions of ourselves out there that we can tap into and bring into the movie that we call here Planet Earth. There's different roles that we have. In one of the movie, we are a victim. In another movie, we are a creator, we are an artist, we are successful. In another movie, we have experienced loss and breakup and grief a lot. In the other movie, which can be even the same movie, we experience joy, we experience excitement, we experience fulfillment, satisfaction, stability, whatever we need, prosperity. So we are shifting between these timelines and versions of ourselves or destinies constantly. And you walking a path that is not known is the most terrifying thing. I know that from my journey, because I walked my path. There was an unknown path. When I said goodbye to the life that felt safe, that I thought I have control over, and I stepped into the life that felt completely unknown, it was not paved. It was not paved. That path was not paved. I had to create the path. I had to walk it enough to create it. Right? There's many aspects in that I can share another hour about. But let's just say that the journey is real, and to walk a path that is unknown is the highest courage that we can experience in our body, and with that comes the highest excitement, the highest fulfillment. And the fact that we don't know it, that doesn't mean it's even true, because our soul, on a quantum level, on an energetic level, is always supporting us. There's an army of support, if you want, and you will attract that support. You will attract the miracles. You will attract the right people. You will attract the opportunity. You will attract the synchronicity. You will attract all these things that actually makes you go forward on the path. And it's so beautiful to live that way and to create a new structure for yourself and a new way of how you operate in your own uniqueness, and how you connect and relate with people, for being a sovereign being, a sovereign creator of your own journey, which is already created in the greater scheme of how life works. It's already there. We're just accessing it and bringing it into this experience. And this is the beauty of it. The movie is already pre-written. You just have to walk the role that you want. You get to walk the character that you want in your own movie, and see how that makes you feel. See how that improves your life. See how that improves the lives of other people, of your family, of the people that you love. So this is it. This is what I want to share with you. I'm doing this work to support people on this journey of closing these karmic loops, rewiring their old patterns, and grounding into their soul mission. Activating, building, and launching their soul mission into the world. This is the work I'm very passionate to do. This is why I'm here for, to show people that if I can do it, they can do it too. If I can create a dream life for myself, doing what I love and being who I am fully myself in doing what I love, and I get to be rewarded for it, then every single person have that power, have that inside of them. And I'm here to support people to access it, clarify what that is, crystallize really what is that, how does that look like, and also learn how to share it with the world, learning how to express it in this world so that it's understood and that people see you for who you are, for what you came here to do, and they become your clients, or they become your tribe, basically your community. So I'm here to do that with you. If this is something that calls you, just simply write me a message and we go from there. Text me, write me a message. If you see this on other platforms, check info below. Alright everyone, lots of love, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Okay, take care, and remember, you are the creator. Much love.